Right off the bat, I'd like to thank everybody that has subscribed to the channel since the last video on this topic. I am genuinely blown away by the number of people that have subscribed as a result of that video, so thank you very much. I'm very, very genuinely happy. And right off the back of that as well, a few people had mentioned that the image was underexposed, and I completely agree. Now, what I had set out to do with that video was to try and push small lights as far as they can to create a pleasing image. Now, the video that you're seeing now is that video, and I feel that whilst I did a good creative job, I don't think I pushed those small lights nowhere near as far as they could go in order to get a good exposure and to reduce the noise that you're seeing. So that was the first thing to do. How do I improve on that? And that is what we're going to be looking at today. So I reshot that scene. All the camera settings are exactly the same. The white balance might be with a 200 difference, but for the most part, the ISO, the aperture, everything else is exactly the same. Even the kitchen, I kept the kitchen exactly the same. I was going to rebuild it, but I thought no, we're going to keep consistency. Now I was fucking terrible, sorry. Now what I will say is that there were some changes to the lighting that helped with the exposure, but we'll talk about that later. And then after that, then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Neat Video, because I tried the demo and I was blown away. And the only reason why I tried the demo was because I was looking for methods to try and help reduce noise. And I thought, you know what, sort it. I'm just going to try it, because I didn't realize there was a demo, and then it was, blew my mind, bought it. So we will look at that later. Now, all the footage that you're seeing right now, apart from the talking head, does not have Neat Video applied, but it will do later, because the purpose of this video is to try and improve on the last video, exposure wise, and to reduce the noise naturally through lighting, not through noise reduction. But that is applied later, and I will show that to you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look at the improved scene that I've done, and then we'll talk about the lighting afterwards. Right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the actual lighting that was used in that scene, and this remains consistent with the last time we did this video, except with the addition of one extra light. Now, we can't show the two Godox R1s. One is because one's being used to actually augment this light here, which is what you're seeing on this side, and then the other is providing this light behind the TV. Now I've got an LED behind the TV, but it's been driving me mad because it does waves, it pulses, and it's been driving me mad. So that is actually being used by the Godox R1. Now the moonlight was being provided by the Ulanzi L1 Pro, like in the last one, but this was on a light stand, this was outside, and the angle and the position was changed to make sure that I was getting more exposure on my body rather than it being a bit more off angle and pointing towards the wall. I actually pointed this more towards myself just to illuminate my beautiful face. The other light, which was the one that was in the sink, now this was a basic LED table lamp, and this was the one that I was more surprised about in the last video, because I wouldn't have thought to put a bloody light in the sink, but it worked. Anytime the camera moved closer to the actual taps or me washing my hand, this was placed on the windowsill. The neck was extended out, and this was providing extra level on the hands and the taps, so that worked out great. And these are only £8 each, and I've got 3 of them. Now, in the last video, I used the Aputure AL M9 as the under cabinet light, and that was great. But I changed, this is what I changed. This was actually not used at all in this video, and the reason being for that is that I forgot I had these. Now these are under cabinet LEDs, and this is an 8 watt and they are 4000 Kelvin, which is what the camera was set at, so these were coming up as nice white light. I've got 4 of these, and I purchased these quite a while ago, and I just haven't used them yet. And these are handy because they connect together, and you can get a nice either really long light, or you can buy, well, they come with it, a cable which goes from here to here, and you can position it like this, which is fantastic. But for the under cabinet, that's what these were used. Now, by doing this, this provided me with enough level. I gotta put this down, wait. So that provided me with enough level of light that allowed me to move one of the Godox. So in the last video, one of the Godox was actually being placed by the cooker hood, and that was pointed towards the wall, and that was providing the room with some level, trying to get that exposure up, but it didn't work as well as I'd hoped. By using that under cabinet LED, it provided enough light on the cabinets on the opposite side and on the sink, which lifted that level up. And because it is a cabinet light, you're not going to go, well, where the bloody hell is that light coming from? It's pretty obvious. So that maintained the natural feel of it, but it also raised the exposure well enough that I could move one of those lights. So in that area, I used to have the Godox as the light for the under cooker hood. That stayed there, but that light that was being bounced off the ceiling was actually repositioned out to the pantry. So where in the last video I just turned on the pantry lights, I used this then on a light stand that was just outside the door, that was bouncing off the other door and was coming through the actual window pane, and that was a brighter and the color was better on that light, so that provided a bit more pop in that area. And that was the lighting. That not massive amount changed, but by using those cabinet lights, it raised the exposure enough, and you can see that with the before and after in this shot now. So as you can see with the side-by-side images, there is a drastic improvement, and I'm really glad that I went back and I reshot this, because I genuinely wasn't happy with the image quality that I'd produced. So I'm really happy that I took the time and pushed it as far as I think I could go. Now, the scene that you are looking at right now is actually being lit by those under cabinet LEDs, and they are bouncing off whiteboard like I did with the Godox R1s, but this time I've got some diffusion on the other side. So in essence, it's like a book light, and as you can see, for cheap lights you can get a nice image. So don't let the fact that you've only got cheap lights be a constraining factor, because the only constraining factor is this idiot, because I was the idiot. And you should go out and practice, and then when you've done it once, do it again. Post the results online. Don't be afraid to show your mistakes, because that's the driving force in making you be better. Now, the reason why this video is taken so long since the last one is that I've been spending the time practicing, but I've also been trying to spend the time in DaVinci Resolve to try and sort out the noise issues, because you're going to get noise issues no matter what. And I'm not happy with the results, or I haven't been happy with the results, because in the free version of DaVinci Resolve you can use Fusion, and there is a remove noise part in there, a module or plugin. Now, the downside of that is the more aggressive you are with it, the softer the image comes, and it's a performance hog as well. So I wasn't happy with using it, and there's been a few times where it's crashed to me and it was causing more frustration than what it was worth. Now I knew about Neat Video, and I know about the noise reduction within the full version of DaVinci Resolve, but I didn't know there was a demo of Neat. So I thought I'm going to give it a try, and to be honest with you, I was pretty much blown away with how well it performed. So what I'd done was I purchased it because with the free version you only get so much export time, I think. And because I was so happy with what the demo had done, I bit the bullet and I was just like, I'm gonna buy it now. That cost me £140. Am I sorry? Hell no. Hell no. So we're gonna play the video again, but this time we're gonna do a side by side with the Neat Video applied. The left hand side, I think, doesn't have it applied, and the right hand side does. It'll say. But what I want you to pay particular notice to is, or pay attention, is the actual tiles in the wall. That is where I can really see the benefit of this. So as you can see, it's really helping to clean that image up, and I was blown away by it. So that's why I spent the money on doing so. Now it's not a cheap option, but when you take into the fact that a lens, say for instance the zoom lens, a 24-70 at say a 2 or 2.8 or even a 1.4, that is through the barrel, that's a lot of money. You're going to be spending about £700 or more, well, a lot more. For the sake of 140 quid, I've got a bit of a backup, and I haven't had to spend all that money on a new lens. So for me, that was money worth investing, because if I go to a client, I know I can clean that image up. So I had a thought. I was like, if it's done such a good job on this video, I wonder what it will do on the last video. And it did a fantastic job at that as well. So we're just going to play that now, and again, pay attention to the actual tiles, because that is where you will see the biggest difference, and you can see how much is improving. So if, like me, you were blown away, I'm not saying rush out and buy it, try the demo, see what it's like. I'm not being paid by Neat in any way to advertise this. This is just my personal experience, and it was an investment further along down the line for when I work with clients. So yeah, so that was I was really impressed, and that's why I took the plunge with that. So yeah, I'm going to finish up this video with that. Thank you again. Thank you for the new subscribers. If you didn't do your homework last time, shame on you. Get out there, practice, limit yourself. Put yourself in a box and see how much you can create, because sometimes it's not about how good the camera is. It's not about how good the lights are. The resultant factor is how good you are. You have to invest in yourself, and I implore you to invest in yourself. Because the thing is, I'm working off a Panasonic G7, which is 8-bit. It's not the world's greatest camera. It has limiting factors, but those limiting factors are pushing me. They are forcing me to light. They are forcing me with audio. It's forcing me to be better at a hell of a lot of things. Now, if I had a fantastic camera which had 15 stops of dynamic range, I might get a little bit lazy, and I don't want to be lazy. So find something that will constrain you and go and learn. If you like this content, please click the like button. It would be fantastic. I am going to go to bed now. I'm tired. It is 25 minutes past 10. I am usually in bed by 9. I'm hungry. I'm tired, and I'm going to go. See you in the next one. Cheers.